All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about financial literacy, but I want you to think about it a little differently. Let's call it learning the rules of a game that every single one of us is already playing, whether we like it or not. I mean, does this feel familiar? You're on the field. The game is moving fast. Money is changing hands, and you're just trying to keep up, not totally sure what the goal is or even how to score a point. Well, if you've ever felt that way, you are absolutely not alone. That feeling is so incredibly common. So today, our mission is to pull back the curtain on this sort of invisible world of personal finance and make those rules crystal clear. So let's start with one of the first big mysteries that everyone runs into. You get your first job, you're so excited about the salary you were offered, and then that first paycheck actually hits your bank account. And bam, you get hit with a classic paycheck shock. The payslip says you earned $2,000, but only $1,456 actually landed. And you're thinking, wait, where did the rest of it go? Well, it went to these invisible forces: taxes, Social Security, Medicare. These are part of the game, but for most of us, it's the very first clue that there are rules we haven't been taught. And not knowing these rules has huge consequences. Get this, a staggering 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Just let that sink in. That means nearly 8 out of every 10 people are one flat tire or one surprise medical bill away from real financial trouble. This isn't just about people being bad with money. It's a sign that the game is really, really hard to win when you don't know the rules. You see, understanding these rules basically puts you at a fork in the road. One path can lead you down a cycle of debt, while the other can lead to building real wealth. And the difference between those two paths? It often comes down to one single, incredibly powerful concept. To see what I mean, let's look at a quick story of two friends, Miguel and Jasmine. Miguel starts investing just $25 a month, right away. Jasmine, on the other hand, waits 10 years. She figures, no big deal, I'll catch up by investing double. So she puts in $50 a month. Now, who do you think comes out on top? After 40 years, it's Miguel. And not just by a little bit, he ends up with over $20,000 more than Jasmine, even though he invested less money overall. How is that even possible? She invested double his amount. This right here perfectly illustrates the most powerful secret rule in the entire financial game. The secret is compound interest. You might have heard it called the eighth wonder of the world, but let's just call it what it is: a wealth-building cheat code. It's not just about your money earning interest. It's about that interest earning its own interest. Your money isn't just growing, it starts multiplying. And the most important ingredient it needs is time. That's why starting early, like Miguel did, beats starting bigger, later, almost every time. But here's the thing, not everyone is being taught these rules equally. If we look at the whole world, there's this persistent gender gap. About 35% of men are considered financially literate, but only 30% of women are. Now, a 5% gap might not sound like a lot, but over a lifetime, it can lead to massive differences in financial security, especially when you consider that women tend to live longer. And it's not just about gender, it's also about geography. This study looked at young investors and found that kids in urban areas had a 10-point higher financial literacy score than those in more rural areas. This just goes to show you that your access to information can create these really big gaps in knowledge. So yeah, the system isn't perfect, but that doesn't mean you're powerless. Actually, it's the exact opposite, because in this game, knowledge really is power. So now let's get to the good stuff, the 3 simple keys you can use to take control and unlock your own financial power. Here they are. It's this simple. 1. Know your money. 2. Make your money work for you. And 3. Protect your future. Let's break down what each of those really means. All right, key number 1. Know your money. The 50-30-20 rule is probably the easiest way to get started. It's a simple roadmap. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your absolute needs like rent and food. 30% is for your wants, all the fun stuff. And then, this is the most important part, a non-negotiable 20% goes straight to savings and investments. It's not about feeling restricted, it's about having a plan. And having that plan, that knowledge, is what gets you in the game. Look at this stat. Young people with high financial literacy are 2.5 times more likely to invest. See? Knowing the rules gives you the confidence to actually take that 20% and put it to work. Key number 2, make your money work. This is all about interest, and you have to think of it like a double-edged sword. When you're paying it on debt, it's your worst enemy, working against you day and night. But when you're earning it through investments, it becomes your best unpaid employee, working 24/7 to make you wealthier. So the goal is simple. Be the one who earns it, not the one who pays it. And finally, key number 3, protect your future. A huge piece of this puzzle is your credit score. The best way to think about it isn't as a grade on how rich you are, but as a measure of how trustworthy you are. I love this analogy. It's like a pet dog. If you take good care of it, pay your bills on time, it'll be your best friend when you really need it, like when you want to get a mortgage for a house. But if you ignore it, well, it can really mess up your life.
Protecting your future also means understanding that not all debt is bad. There's a huge difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is basically an investment, money you borrow for something that will hopefully grow in value, like a house, or increase your income, like a student loan. Bad debt is borrowing for stuff that loses value immediately, like using a high-interest credit card for a shopping spree. You want to use good debt strategically and get rid of bad debt as fast as you can.
So after all this, what's the real takeaway? It's that learning these rules isn't just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's about grabbing the steering wheel of your own life. It's your money, which means it's your future. And for anyone who's still a little scared of the risks of investing, this quote just nails it. We worry so much about losing money in the market, but we completely ignore the guaranteed loss that comes from inflation. That's the silent thief that makes your savings worth less and less every single day you do nothing. Sometimes the biggest risk of all is not playing. So, it all boils down to this one question. We've seen that money is a powerful tool. It can be turned against you as your worst enemy, or it can be put to work for you as your best unpaid employee. It can be a source of constant stress, or it can be a source of freedom. The choice is yours to make.